Just ahead on ABC 6 News, first at 4, 50 days of the commuter crisis. What East Providence is doing to roads in town to smooth out the commute. Plus, a once full pond in Cumberland now thick mud. What residents want to happen immediately and why this issue could have been prevented. And Massachusetts state troopers find themselves on the wrong side of the law, what they're accused of doing, all in exchange for kickbacks.
This is Southern New England's trusted news source, ABC 6 News, first at 4.
Our top story at 4 o'clock. It's been 50 long and very exhausting days for commuters since the partial closure of the Washington Bridge. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon at 4. I'm Tiffany Murphy. Right now, the federal government is looking into all the records relating to the bridge to find out how it passed inspection last summer and now may have to be torn down. ABC 6 News reporter Alyssa Azara spoke to the mayor of East Providence on how the city is now dealing with all the traffic fallout from the bridge closure. She joins us live in East Providence. Alyssa.
Tiffany, the mayor tells me since December 11th, they've been reassessing the situation, trying to make changes to alleviate congestion in the city, like making certain roads resident only. With it now being day 50 of the Washington Bridge closure, many Rhode Islanders are still left wondering how we got to this point, especially with so much left up in the air with exactly what's next for the bridge. Mayor Bob DeSilva says he believes Governor Dan McKee and RIDOT Director Peter Alviti are doing what they can to try to fix the situation as soon as possible. So I asked him what he thinks about the federal investigation, and he says he welcomes it.
But I think having a set of eyes that are removed from the situation is not a bad thing. I think that the DOT and the governor welcomes that review, and I think it's a good thing for the community. Everybody wants to know how we ended up where we are.
DeSilva also tells me that if the investigation shows that somebody dropped the ball, he believes accountability should be front and center. Live in East Providence, Alyssa Azara, ABC 6 News.
First at 4, a live look over Providence on this gray Tuesday afternoon. Let's get a check of our forecast and bring in Providence Now Chief Meteorologist Jeff Banson, who joins us live in the Weather Center. The weather, not a reason for a long commute this afternoon.
No, we have been very quiet out there. A couple of flurries from time to time and a couple of very, very tiny flakes maybe on your windshield you'd notice. Outside of that, it is, again, shaping up to be a very quiet remainder of this week and beginning of the new month of February as we inch towards that. But yes, lots of cloud cover out there today. We're putting on the Doppler sweep for you here. Nothing showing up outside of, again, maybe a flurry. The one that you see a little closer to the 295 corridor, that is the interference that the radar picks up from the windmills out there. It looks like a little smudge of blue over towards New Bedford. That might be legit, but we're not reporting anything there. 29 and cloudy is what we currently see there. Mostly cloudy across the board with temperatures below freezing also across the board, so they stay on the cold side as we head into tonight. Temperatures in the 20s, winds generally on the lighter side. We will struggle to get a ton of sun tomorrow. I think we'll get some mixed in the clouds, a little bit brighter than today, but at least we're not dealing with any major storms again, Tiffany, and fortunately the weekend is shaping up to be bright and a little bit chilly out there. We'll have that full 7-day forecast. A Groundhog Day forecast. Will Phil see his shadow or not? I'll give you my thoughts on that coming up in the 7-day.
Looking forward to that. Thanks, Jeff. At ABC 6 News, follow up at 4 o'clock. Tonight, concerns are growing in Cumberland as a broken dam drains an entire pond. Now the town is trying to figure out the best solution to fix it. ABC 6 News reporter Caitlin Gilhouse has more from Cumberland.
Well, just days ago, what once was a beautiful pond is now a muddy mess. Here at the Rawson Pond in Cumberland, a dam breaking on Friday night. The town of Cumberland bought the Rawson Pond and Dam back in 2017. But back in 2021, a warning came across the Mayor Jeffrey Mutter's desk from the Department of Environmental Management. It stated that the Rawson Pond was classified as a significant hazard. The DEM says the flashboards, which are used to control water level in the spillway, failed on Friday night, but not the Rawson Pond Dam itself. Today, we saw the Director of Public Works and his crew assessing the damage. They say their end goal is to restore the dam and the pond, but it will take some time. Residents here in Cumberland telling me it's hard to see the pond in this state.
No, it it was heart-wrenching to see it. And then after a few minutes, I realized, oh my God, the geese and the Mr. and Mrs. Swan, I call them, they're always here. There's a pair of swans that live here, and the ducks and all the animals, and it was like heartbreaking to think of that. And you can still see them. It's like they're flying around trying to find a place to be, and it's devastating.
Residents also telling me that they hope for a speedy restoration as we approach spring in the coming months. They're concerned over the smell of the mud as well as the increase in bugs in the area. For now, in Cumberland, Caitlin Gelhaus, ABC 6 News.
If you'd like to keep up with all the stories happening in our area all day long, even when we're not on air, and get behind the scenes looks like this one that Caitlin took earlier today when she was in Cumberland, all you need is your cell phone. Our reporters are posting these behind the scenes videos every day on our Now Local News app. You can also contribute your own stories on the app. Your videos will earn you points you can exchange for gift cards and other prizes, and we might use your video right here on ABC 6 News. To start today, all you have to do, download the app by scanning the QR code on your screen or head to the App Store and search Now Local News. Other local stories we're following for you on this Tuesday afternoon. Police in Warren arresting 2 teen boys linked to several car break-ins around town. Police say the 15 and 16-year-olds had stolen items on them, including an urn. That urn and most of the other items were all returned to their owners. Both teens were turned over to their parents. They're charged with receiving stolen goods, obstruction, and weapons other than firearms. Woonsocket police investigating after a woman was shot inside of her apartment. Police were called to that home on Boyden Street around 11:30 last night. Inside, they found a 22-year-old woman who had 2 gunshot wounds. Police say the 2 suspects took off in a car. Police in Newport need your help tonight identifying 2 suspects. Police ask that you give them a call if you recognize the people that are about to pop up on your screen there. You see them walking across the center of your screen. Police in Newport say it's connected to an incident that occurred on Sunday, but they didn't give us any additional details. So if you think you know who these 2 people are, you're asked to contact Newport PD. New at 4 o'clock, 4 current and former Massachusetts state troopers all facing charges for their involvement in a 6-year-long bribery scheme. ABC 6 News reporter Josh Kerman joins us tonight in the studio to break it all down. He tells us what we know. Josh?
Tiffany, 6 people, including 4 current and former Mass State Police troopers and 2 civilians, facing charges of extortion, conspiracy, and falsification of records, among other charges. Now, according to federal investigators, they were given bribes in exchange for guaranteed passing scores to commercial driver's license applicants. Now, the CDL is required to drive trucks or other large commercial vehicles like that. The Massachusetts State Police Commercial Driver's License Unit oversees those exams, which require 3 tests, including a vehicle inspection, a basic skills test, and a road test.
The defendants allegedly displayed no regard for the public safety consequences of allowing people who didn't pass the test to have a CDL and operate commercial trucks. They jokingly talk about golden treatments and golden handshakes, referring to giving guaranteed passes to certain CDL applicants regardless of how they did on the test.
The indictment claims the troopers started this all the way back in 2018. The 6 people involved are facing a total of 74 counts across the indictment. The acting district attorney for Massachusetts said those kickbacks included a $2,000 snowblower and a driveway repaving that cost nearly $10 grand, among other items. In the newsroom, Josh Kerman, ABC 6 News.
Thanks, Josh. Still to come on ABC 6 News, first at 4, a young whale found dead off the coast of Martha's Vineyard. A concerning item found on it. Plus, after 2 years of silence, Vermont State Police arresting 2 people in connection to a teen's murder. Details tonight from detectives. And a Republican-led House committee wants the U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security out. Details on the potential impeachment. You're watching ABC 6, Southern New England's trusted news source.